The saxophone was invented in 1840 by a man named Adolphe Sax. He was born in what is today present-day Belgium to a middle-class family. According to famousinventors.org, Sax worked as an apprentice for his father. He experimented with new designs while his father made more conventional instruments to fulfill demand and support his family. The saxophone was made to combine the technical aspects of a woodwind instrument as well as the power that brass instruments contain. That is why there are so many keys on the saxophone, but there's a much bigger bell than most traditional woodwind instruments such as clarinet and flute. Many beginning saxophone players, when they're taught how to play saxophone, are never taught initially the correct techniques and forms used while playing the saxophone. This includes they're never taught where to sit on the chair or how to hold their saxophone, and the list goes on and on. My name is Caitlin Gerdnick, and I've been playing saxophone for 7 years now. I've participated in multiple honor bands at the county, district, and state level. I will now explain the different positions, the different ways that you need to sit while playing the saxophone sitting down. And I also want to prevent future saxophone players from learning incorrect form while they begin to learn their new instrument. First, we'll start off by where to sit on the chair. Now, saxophone players are going to want to sit on the front half of their chair. This is for many different reasons. I'll show you how now. When you play the saxophone, you're going to want to have your saxophone hanging because saxophone players use a neck strap so they don't have to hold their saxophone constantly. There's many different notes that involve maybe just no fingers or one or two that if we played those without a neck strap, they would fall on the ground. Now, if a saxophone player sits on the back half of their chair and let their saxophone hang freely, the bottom of their saxophone will be resting on the seat of the chair. When playing the saxophone vibrates, and that will cause the chair to vibrate, and the tone won't be as clear as it would have been if it was not touching anything. According to bestsaxophoneever.com, the height of the chair needs to be one such that our knees are slightly lower than our hips. By sitting on the front half of your chair, your legs are a little bit more propped down, and this creates that lower knee to hip ratio. Now that we've talked about where to sit on the chair, let's talk a little bit about feet position. There are two types of genres that saxophone players are most known for playing, and the first is classical music. Now, classical music is a little bit more of a formal setting, so when playing classical music, a saxophone player is going to want to have both feet flat on the floor like this. Now, when playing in a formal setting, you're going to want to look like the people around you, and most instruments play just like this with their feet flat on the floor. So, of course, we need to look like every other instrument playing this classical music. Now, the other genre that saxophone players are known for playing, and probably the most known for playing, is jazz music. Jazz music is a little bit freer than classical music, so a lot of players sit with one foot flat on the floor, and it doesn't matter which one, and the other one propped under their chair like this. This just allows for a little bit freer movement when playing the saxophone, since jazz music is a little bit more upbeat than classical music. We've talked about where to sit on the chair and how to position our feet. So finally, we will talk a little bit about our upper body, since we focused mostly on the bottom half of our body. Saxophone players need to sit straight up and tall. There's many different reasons and benefits for sitting straight up and tall. The first is, if you don't sit straight up and tall, you might cause your body to have repetitive strain injuries. This just can cause a lot of harm to the body if you're not sitting straight up and tall. The second reason that you're going to want to sit straight up and tall is because if you sit on your chair and slouch down, it closes up a lot of the airways that saxophone players need to play their instrument. It closes up the lungs and the throat. By sitting straight up and tall, air is able to circulate through your body much easier and provides a much better tone when playing your saxophone. In the past few minutes, I explained the many different ways that you need to sit while playing the saxophone. We talked about that you need to sit on the front half of your chair. We talked about how to set your feet on the ground in multiple genres of music, and we've talked about why our posture needs to be the way it is when playing the saxophone. Now it's your turn to go out and pick up an instrument and learn how to play. It can be saxophone, piano, any type of instrument because the techniques used in this video can be used for multiple instruments, pretty much any instrument that you play sitting down. According to Alphonse de Lamartine, music is the literature of the heart. It commences where speech ends. Thank you.